Day 4. Okay, you've manifested something. I'm sure you have all manifested something. Maybe it isn't quite what you're thinking, and possibly you didn't even notice, but manifestation comes in so many different ways, and there's even little tiny manifestations. There doesn't have to be huge, gigantic, always fantastic fantasy goals. I mean, sure, those happen, but every once in a while, not every day. So every day there's little things that manifest. Maybe you got your new book that you've been wanting. Maybe you finally started that hobby that you thought about starting. Maybe you planned a trip that you're about to go on. Hey, you've manifested learning how to manifest. That's actually pretty good, especially when you can start putting together what you know to what you kind of believe, and then have something to back it up. That's brilliant. That's awesome. All right. So you've manifested. So now what? And some of you guys are thinking, yeah, I didn't manifest anything today. And others are going, yes, I manifested today. Again, whatever you believe is what you're going to get. So that's okay. So what I want you to do is think about how you are doing. Now, depending on how you feel about what you've manifested will determine if you manifest it, like if you're going to manifest it again. So, do you feel good or do you feel bad? And this actually goes also into past manifestations, like past information. So your history, going back in your own time, right? So our good and bad experiences. So this was the swimming story that I had told about the two going swimming, and Sue almost drowned, and the, you know, like we almost drowned, but us have, maybe in the story it was like us and Sue. So if we've already had good experiences with swimming, chances are one time almost drowning isn't going to stop us from swimming, because there's just too many pathways in the mind. So I was actually telling a client today, we were talking, and lots of times when I give massages and reflexology and that, we get onto other topics, and so I was telling her the story of a path, like the neurons, the brain neurons in your head, you guys, to me is like a pathway. And so if you can imagine, I want you to imagine a meadow, and this meadow has never ever been walked in. And you decide to cross this meadow, and the grass, let's pretend it's in July, early August, and the meadow is very, very high with grass. Everything is very wonderfully full and abundant, and you walk through this tall grass. And as you turn behind to look behind you to where you just came from, you can't even see the trail that you just did. All right, so you love this new path so much, you decide to take this path every day. This is a new path for you. So you decide that this path is going to be this new thing. So after a week or 2 weeks, you turn around, and now you can start seeing the path that you've now made, because some of the grass has now broken, and maybe you didn't walk in the same footsteps every time, so now the path is getting a little wider. And as you keep walking, maybe other people start using this path, and more energy starts going through, and all of a sudden this is a big path, and you look behind, and it's you know, maybe people are biking on it or horseback riding on it or something, and the path gets beaten down, and now it's almost like as hard as a road. It's so packed down and solid, and no grass grows anymore. So all of a sudden this path is very noticeable. Okay, and now it's become a habit. You love walking this way, so this is what you're doing. You just keep going down this path and taking this path. So in our brain, okay, that is like what happens when we create an experience. If it's a one-time experience and it hasn't really left us with an extremely high wow or a very, very scary, very low, so our brains know the two, right? Really, really good, really, really bad. But everything in between, the brain doesn't really care about. So in your limbic system, at night, when you're sleeping, the brain just gets rid of all the stuff that it doesn't need, and it stores the stuff that it does need. So things for memories. Okay. So with this, a good experience or a bad experience, you guys are going to really notice the really, really good, or you're going to notice the really, really bad. And everything in between isn't really going to matter too much. All right. So I'm going to kind of go a little more on that story, but we're going to pull it in with the rest of this here. So now what I want you to think about. So what happens if you manifested, and you manifested whatever it is that you want to manifest? And if you start asking yourself, when you have reached your goal, when you're referring to the goal, how has achieving your goal affected your friendships? Do you get to see old friends more or less, or not at all? Do you have any friends? Meaning, sometimes some of our goals, what if it makes us so busy we can't even see people anymore? You know, those kind of things. So again, is that a good or a bad, or does it matter? How about achieving your goal affects your children, right? And we're going to get into this more. Or how about your intimate relationships? How has achieving the goal affected your money? And how about achieving the goal, how's it affected your spiritual beliefs or religious beliefs? And achieving that goal, how did it affect your self-esteem? How has achieving your goal affected your health? So thinking about these kind of questions is part of manifestation. So what if your intent is to really manifest a very, very specific person, place, or thing? Really, really specific. But it's just not happening. Okay? Some of the questions that I just said can create this not to happen. Because your subconscious, your inner person, your inner child is going to protect you. Your subconscious is only going to do whatever is really best for you. And sometimes, if the pain of losing something else to gain that goal, depending, is the goal more important to you, or how about the pain if you attain it? Which one's more important? If you don't want the pain, you're not going to do it, okay? You're going to have to really, really want that goal. Now, there are things that you can do, right? Having a good or bad experience, other people can affect your outcome. So things that you can do is, if you think about the goals that you're trying to reach, if somebody else, if it's going to affect somebody else, their energy could cause yours to not work, and you might not manifest what it is that you're thinking. I'm going to give an example. So let's pretend you need a pen, okay? So you want to manifest a pen, something to write with. Maybe a pencil works. You know, like, that's still manifesting if the point is that you need to write down something, okay? So maybe it's a crayon. So unless it's a very specific pen that you're asking for, really doesn't matter which pen or what kind of writing object that you're going to have, as long as you're doing whatever it is that the real goal is. If the real goal is just to write something down, actually the pen isn't really what it is. Maybe you could type it into your computer. Like, there's all other kinds of ways to be able to put the message out there. Maybe you phone on your phone and phone yourself and leave a message or a recording or something. So meaning, depending what exactly it is that you're trying to manifest will matter to what it is that you're going to also end up with. Now, the point of the story is, how much does a pen affect somebody else? Most people have some kind of writing tool on them. And if you just need it for a quick second, chances are if you needed a pen, it wouldn't matter where you are or something to write with, somebody around you probably has something. And it won't really affect them. And most people, because they have many, many pens, probably 10 and 20 and 30 pens at home, won't care even if you keep the dang pen. Okay, it's not expensive. It isn't going to matter. So the point is, though, is the energy to create this, even if somebody else is concerned, isn't going to matter because it doesn't matter to them. But let's pretend you are wanting your goal, your desire, however you want to word it, is to, I hate the word want, you guys, so you're going to find really quickly I try to get away from that word. So with it, though, the goal is a new house. All right. Now there's a lot going on with homes, meaning you have possibly the house that you're living in. So if you own that house, then if you're not going to sell it and you're going to keep it, well then is somebody going to rent it? So now there's the people renting it that come into play. If you're going to sell it, there is the people that are going to buy it, but now it's not just them buying it, meaning do they have to sell their house, and then is it the people buying their house, and you're starting to get the picture of how many people it takes in the equation to make this manifestation happen. So meaning you're selling your house, but that's only your house. You haven't even talked yet about the house you're about to buy. Okay, so the picture there is, one, we're not talking the price of a pen, and we're not talking that everybody has, 20 of these at home. We're talking most people have one home on majority, and a lot of younger people don't even have a home yet. And the older people possibly are retiring and now they're downsizing. And so homes are huge in energy, okay? To be able to manifest a home is crazy energy. And sometimes we really don't have as much control as we think we do, because now it's the other people that are involved. Their energy has to sync with our energy. Okay, so you're getting the idea that some are really easy to manifest. Things that don't matter come like that, no problem. Sometimes other things have a lot more in it than just, is it a good and bad experience for you? All right, so if you have issues around what it is that you want to manifest, and you have written it all out, you have written it in detail, big detail, you have very specific literal meanings to it, so there's no miscommunication. If, let's just pretend somebody from another country who barely knows English, if they can understand what you're asking for, then you use the right words. So then you've done all the detailed stuff, you've meditated, you've put it out to the universe, you've asked up. Now, what happens if, okay, one is time. Maybe it's just a timing thing, and sometimes we have to wait for it. But what if it is something that you definitely have been goal setting for, you're doing all the right things, and it's still not happening? And I'm going to use the excuse or an example of, let's say there's something that you want, but your mom doesn't want you to have it, or your dad doesn't want you to have it, or your husband isn't sure if it is. So let's pretend there's other people controlling this. I'm going to use, husband's a little hard because you and your partner are very tied in almost everything you do. But let's pretend you're a grown-up and your mom. Really, you shouldn't have any major connection that matters about you manifesting unless you're using their money or you owe the money. So, meaning, just because they have an opinion, they're allowed to have their opinion. But what if it's holding you back? What if all of a sudden somebody's energy is pulling on you and you're not manifesting because somebody else's energy? That's what this one's about, removing negative energy. So if you sense you are about to lose something, or you're not being able to get it in the first place. So when I mean lose something, that you have it, but it looks like it's going to be taken away from you somehow, or you're going to not have it anymore. So whatever it is that you're manifested, or whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest, and your goal is to keep it, that it is something definitely that you want and desire and need and all that stuff, and you know in your heart that you're supposed to have it, then this negative energy release meditation is a wonderful, wonderful tool that I have been using for, again, 20 years for clients. And what I did is I put it onto, it's a video, it's actually of my pond in the backyard last year. And what I did is I created the version for a person to remove negative energy using the chakra system. And so to do this, all you have to do is go back to the email later. You'll see the connection for it that you can click on, and it takes you to my YouTube. And you can more than welcome listen to this meditation when you have time. I think it's about, I can't remember how long it is, maybe 10 or so minutes. And help yourself clear energy. And there's nothing to say how often. You could listen to it 3 times a day. You could listen to it once every year. I don't care. Whenever you think that you're blocked, use this meditation. It's a wonderful meditation. Other ways to move energy. You guys, there are many, many ways that you can move energy. What I have here are some different types of sessions or different things that you can use. Aromatherapy, so essential oils, amazing for the emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical part of the body. Wonderful stuff. Go ahead and Google stuff if you want, and then go to a store or go to a practitioner and have sessions done with aromatherapy, or add it to a different session. Bach Remedy. Bach Remedy is flower essences. They do up a custom blend for you. It's all for emotional, and then you put it underneath your tongue. Wonderful for that kind of stuff. Any type of body sessions, massage, reflexology, shiatsu, Reiki, any of those kind of things, anything to do with muscle memory, again, brilliant information. Anything to do with chakra systems, so again, shiatsu, Reiki, acupuncture, anything like that, anything that does anything with the chakra system, meridians, brilliant again to move energy. Hypnotherapy, emotional freedom technique is EFT. EFT, I actually have a link for you guys to watch. And so when you go back to the emails, you'll be able to click that link and watch how to do it. It actually does it so that you can do it for yourself. Meditation. There are many, many types of meditation to help you to move energy. Emotional clearing technique is a Connie technique. The students that have had me before, some of you guys have already taken these classes. So go back to the homework, go back to your books, and go find this one again if you're not using it. Again, absolutely brilliant to be able to figure out exactly what the problem is, who the problem comes from, and how to clear it. Amazing stuff. Now, things here with like water, wind, stones, okay? Stones, you're going to have another link there to watch a video on stones. Have fun playing with the stones. Water, wind, electrical, any running water will create negative ions, which the body needs. Salt lamps, those kind of things will help the body to be at its optimal vibration so that you actually can move some energy. Now, the other thing is learning another way of doing whatever the issue is. So if, let's pretend it is a house that you want, but let's say it's the mortgage that's the problem. So you're having a problem getting the mortgage. All I can tell you is whatever the issue is, it's also the solution. So find another way to get the mortgage. There's always another way to do it. All right. So you guys are so on to manifesting. And honestly, you guys, manifestation is really your mind. It's really your ability to believe what it is that your goal is. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. All right. So go back to your emails, go watch the other videos with it. And of course, you have a day 4 challenge. So then go ahead back into the Facebook area, go back to the day 4 challenge, and put your answer into the comment section. See you guys tomorrow.